Hello, hola, and buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. Tonight, we'll get you up to speed on all the Galaxy's latest incomings, including all the Chucky news as he was presented to local media, and we will fill you in on our impressions from that media availability. We'll tell you all about the G's, the youngsters, and the vets that are on their way out the door. Look at the Galaxy's depth chart at the moment, and bring you a preview of the Galaxy's away trip to Houston, a place LA has not won since 2022. Plus, a young G finds out something about himself. All that and more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. DJ, you know what to do. Spin it. Cheese up.
Yeah, let's get it started with a new year, new me. Cuna Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars on the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vinny when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. Es La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. Thank you so much for being back here with us. We do appreciate it. It is nothing but love from your host to you and your hosts. Speaking of those hosts, I'm one of them. My name is Rob Halon, back with you as always. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune and find me online at El Escudero de LA. And of course, since I'm here, you know, this guy's here as well. My ride or die, or the left to my right, the peanut butter to my jelly. You know him as Ananda Kirana, el papá de Natita y el yerno guapo, and Mr. Gitano Perdido himself. Papa, you know what, man? I was missing it on Monday. I was missing it.
Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, we had to miss it. You know, sometimes life happens, guys. I'm literally like, I'm coming into this completely like fresh. I haven't looked at my phone literally all day or even the last couple days. I've been out kind of enjoying some family time. I literally just got back from a 4-hour drive somewhere and just enjoying enjoying some family time. So this is good. Actually, this is probably good for me. This is probably like a cleanser that I need because I haven't been mired or tainted by any, like, you know, any rants or thoughts or things out there. I've just been kind of like brushing up on the info. So this is good, Papa. This is good. And especially without having a show on Monday. So guys, although I hope you guys did enjoy some of the minutos that we just dropped, I hope you do like that format. If you do catch it on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or wherever we post it, give us some feedback on the format. Let us know, like, if you like it, what we can improve on, or if you just dig it. That would be awesome, because I know we've Rob's kind of nailed those down, and I think those have been good. Sort of like, you know, when you guys don't have time to listen to an 1.5-hour show, I know it's a lot. You can catch us in bite-sized chunks, and I hope you guys have been enjoying that. So yeah, Bob, we got
you big flatterer.
We got a lot to get into. So
yeah, man, yeah, we do.
There's really nothing's happening in Galaxyland. Absolutely nothing. Like,
yeah, no. Of course, shit happened, man. And you know what? Like, we hadn't even jumped on the air yet, and Big Brother G Cam, this cat came through with the $2 super chat when we weren't even on the air yet, and this cat said, "You know what? Super chatazo right here,
yeah,
super chatazo." And yeah, man. So thank you so much, G Cam, for the $2 super chat. He says, "Shout out Chicago and Austin doing the Lord's work." I'm assuming he's talking about Chicago and Austin going through in the Leagues Cup and leaving out one of the Galaxy's neighbors here. And then we also have Cool Will saying, "What's good, real hood," with the 10 jewels and a gold coin. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Cool Will. Guys, thank you all for being here. Oh, we got 2 jewels and a silver star. No sé qué significa eso, pero
Hey, we
I
got
like
silver
it.
stars and gold coins.
Jeez.
I'm liking this. I'm liking
Me,
this. But hey, real
me
quick, just
siento como Mario, bro.
I know. Exactly. How about that gold star? How about that gold star? No, I was kidding. How about that superstar? Anyways, just want to say what's up to everyone in chat.
Carl's
What's up,
Jr. Superstar.
Hey, there we go. I love where you took it there. So what's up to GCam, of course. Cool Will, what's up? Potter, pessimistic Potter with a pessimistic. That means he's really pessimistic, guys. If he's throwing that A in there. What's up, Chris? Man, just brother Scott. What's up, brother Scott?
Big Scotty too hottie.
E Super, what's up? What's up, everyone in chat? We missed y'all, and yeah, we're back. But Papa, man, we've got no,
you can tell how giddy I am that I really did miss, everybody on Monday, and I was like, man, I'm itching to talk about some of the stuff that's happening. But I'm glad that we kind of like have it kind of like pent up and we're ready to go. Yeah, man. Anyway, sorry to cut you off there.
First question for you though is from GCam. What's in tonight's drink, Rob? That looks like mango.
This is a little bit of mango, orange juice, soda water, ice, and Bug's secret stuff.
There we go. There we go, GCam.
That's what I'm gonna leave it at.
There we go. There's the Gatorade secret formula for you. But
exactly.
Now that we've been off the rails for the first 6 minutes, because we haven't been on with you guys for a week.
Not like we have shit to talk about, right?
Exactly. Not like we have stuff to talk about. But first of all, I just want to thank everyone that subscribed to our YouTube channel. We are at 920 some odd or 30 some odd now. We are on the road to 1,000. Guys, help us get there.
That's love.
Help us get there quickly and soon enough. You know what? It would be awesome if we can get there. I think we're at episode 289, I believe, Papa. We're 11 episodes away from the big 300. So it would be awesome if we can get to 1,000 before 300. That would be super cool. I think we'd get there sooner, though. So, guys, if you are listening to the show and you have not subscribed yet and you do like what you listen to, or you check out one of Rob's minutos and you're like, oh, this is cool. I can get down with this. Give us a shot. Hit the subscribe button and hit those notification bells, and you will know when we're on live or when we have minutos or all that good stuff. But I usually do the shout outs. What else we got? Supers? Well, I mean, the chat knows about the supers already, but
they're already doing their thing. They're like we said, they coming in hot. And you know what? We haven't asked y'all this question in a while, but drop them cities. Where are you listening from? We're always talking about how Los Angeles is more than just one particular little spot. Where are y'all listening from? Big Bell Gardens in the house. Ananda, shout out your city, baby. Come on.
Let's go. Ontario.
Yeah, guys, again, thank you so much. I've said it a couple times. We have Prov de Galaxiana coming to you soon. That is the written version of La Cuna Galaxiana. You'll have, a couple more unfiltered takes here than my usual written work on at the Sporting Tribune, where we got to keep it a little bit more profesh.
Hey, even your boy's trying to get in on the action. I'm not going to spill anything, but let's just say it's based off of the idea that some folk, some bodies of organizations maybe are a day late and $1 short. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Hollywood today. K-Town in the house. Oh, you gotta get that barbecue, son. You gotta get that K barbecue.
Oh man, I'm talking about a pho meetup. Oh, I love it.
Torrance.
Yes. No one wants to see a day in the life of Rob. Really, I mean, it's rather boring.
It's pessimistic.
Rather, I spend time with you guys. That's probably like the highlight of my day. And then when I get to hang out with the Minister of Finance. So. But anyway, like we said, we've been off the rails now for a couple moments now, and it's
worth it. It's worth it. We miss you guys.
And I was about to say, and it's because we're just like we're puppies right now. They're just like, oh, we haven't seen you guys. What can we talk about? But anyway, let's talk about some LA Galaxy stuff. Let's talk about some shout outs. And you know what? No matter what you think of this guy, and there are several different opinions. This man, Ricky Puig, we want to wish him a happy birthday. And the only reason I prefaced that is because, some people, and I think that's an argument, would say that he's a legend for playing on that torn ACL and getting the Galaxy to that final. I could be swayed by that argument. That is king shit, Ananda, for sure. And he'll always be remembered for that. Hopefully, he was surrounded by friends and family. Ricky, ojalá te comita una buena paella, una tortilla, and Forza Canut.
Yeah. Felicitats.
Riley Delgado. It's also his birthday. Oh, and I forgot to say, Ricky is 27 today. Happy birthday to Riley Delgado as well. He's 20 years old. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying Delgado. It's Delgado. He's 20 years old. I was reading somewhere that he is the only Indian American that's playing in MLS. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm gonna have to fact check that. But that's super cool. So happy birthday to both of them. Hopefully they were surrounded by friends and family. Congratulations as well are in order to Ruben Ramos Jr., the young G. He played a real big role, a key role actually in helping the United States qualify for the U20 World Cup. And this went down at the U20 Championship in Mexico. He went off there. I mean, he scored 4 and made 1 in 6 appearances, helping the U.S. get to the final. Unfortunately, the U.S. was then taken out 2-0 in the final by the host Mexico. And Ananda, I really kind of enjoyed the interview with Ruben Ramos today, man, because we've interviewed him a couple times, and my comment to Ananda has been, he's a nice guy, but he kind of toes the party line, like we, I was looking for some juicy quotes, and Ruben Ramos is like a very nice kid, and so he was a good interview, but like
he's not at your level of cheese yet, Papa. Not there.
No, nothing that cheese. But today he was about it. He was about that life, and he was in that press conference today, and it was really funny because they were asking him about his experiences at that tournament, and he was talking about it, and he got really animated, and he was like, "Oh, can I curse?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, do you?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I found out that I'm kind of I can be a bitch." And I was like, "Where's he going with this?" And then and I guess just he was getting worked up by his opponents to the point where he started getting upset, and that started helping him perform better, and he said that he sees in this U.S. men's national team, the U20s, the ability to go all the way, right? I mean, he was asked what can this team do? I mean, first off, he was pissed that they lost to Mexico. Like, he was right pissed, man. Like, I was like, good. I love seeing that hunger in the young lad, right? Like, good on him, right? He was very upset that they lost that final, and players use that for motivation, right? So. Again, he was asked what can the U.S. do in the U20 World Cup. Ruben Ramos Jr. seems to think that they can go all the way. Again, he was a really big part of helping them qualify in this tournament, and congratulations to him and the U.S. under-20 men's team for qualifying for the World Cup. A real quick update on VCFC, where Ruben Ramos Jr. came up from. Their next match is at Houston Dynamo 2, Friday, the 14th, or sorry, 8/14, which is, I was right the first time. Friday, 8/14, and that will be the day before the Galaxy's match there. And if you're listening to this live tomorrow, if you're listening to this later, depending, that multiverse thing. But anyway, they currently sit 4th in the Western Conference on 38 points, a 10-5-6 record. One of their big stars, Ananda, or one of the crown jewels in the young Galaxy roster here, and one of the guys that is pictured here in this photo is 16-year-old Vicente Garcia, who is on his way to Chelsea, Papa. He's on his way to the Premier League. Por plata, 3 million plus add-ons, right? I mean, that's not an insignificant amount. First off, I mean, what do you think of this, man? I mean, he's not gonna leave until he's 18 in 2028. So we still might see him in a Galaxy first team shirt, and I mean, indeed, he's going to be on the first team. He has a first team contract starting 2027. But what does this signal to you, man? I mean, in chat, let us know. I mean, I asked in the Minuto, are the G's starting to produce that top class talent? And Nando, what do you think?
It seems like it, right? It seems like there's some good players coming through that academy. This is coming off of the heels again of Dylan Vinny recently going on loan to Real Betis. Again, another European side. And Papa, you know, you look at, you know, those names there, you look at guys like Julian Araujo. There's even guys in right now that are probably looking at some of those opportunities, right? I can't remember the striker's name for VCFC, but man, that guy's been on a hot streak. I have to look it up, but I've been looking at, you know, the stat sheet and everything for when we do the shows. But man, that starting striker for VCFC is on a hot streak, and he might be going places as well. We don't know, but what's clear is the Galaxy are producing some talent that are attracting overseas, especially European teams abroad. I think the interesting thing for me, though, is what does that mean for the Galaxy? Like, how do the Galaxy manage these situations? Because on one hand, you have players with the talent level clearly of a Chelsea that those teams are looking at these kids and saying, you know what, we can take those kids in. They have that much potential. But then on the flip side, you know, obviously being selfish now, putting the Galaxy-centric hat on, you want to develop these players of your own and have them help your team win games, right? So then the question is, how does the front office and the coaching staff create those pipelines for these players? And I think that's where always the rub comes in, Papa. That's where the rub is, right? And then speaking of rub, it'll rub the fans the wrong way too, because I know some fans are probably saying, and I've seen in the comments when we posted the Minuto saying, you know what, we're just basically selling these players or developing them to sell to make a little money off of them, and then we'll get them back when they're about to retire, right? The kind of comments like that. So it's kind of one of those very interesting like phenomenon that I think we've got to put our, you know, keep tabs on. But I think this begs the question now, how does the Galaxy create enough of a pipeline, enough of a chance for some of these players to play? So I know the Galaxy fans, a lot of them are clamoring to see these kids play, but what's clear is the Galaxy do have talent coming through the pipeline, and that should be exciting for Galaxy fans.
Well, I think we're starting to see that happen, right? I mean, the prime example is Harbor, right? The talent is there with Harbor, and he's seeing time. You know, and the talent is there with this young man as well. 3 goals, 4 assists in only 6 matches, playing from a kind of like a more withdrawn position, not really an attacking like front line position, but more of like a center midfield position. So, and he's still producing. So I really think that this kid is, you know, he can be something special. I mean, and it's great that he's coming from the Galaxy Academy. And so it remains to be seen what he can be done. But yeah, man, I mean, I think, like I said, I got kind of bummed out until I saw the part about him not going for a couple of years, right? So you will probably see him in a first team shirt in some capacity.
Hope so.
You have seen him get called up to from VCFC to the Galaxy first team and those temporary contracts, even though he was an unused sub. So yeah, hopefully we see him soon. He is a pretty good little player. You know, probably the only thing I would say is of course, you know, he might be knocked around a bit, you know, at the first team level, but obviously the lad will grow.
Yeah, he's got a wicked left foot though. I've watched a lot of his highlights, and he's got a wand of a left foot. Really silky player to watch. Makes me want to go need to go scout at VCFC, man. There's some good talent coming through there.
Yeah, well, they have a match not at the Willy Roll coming up pretty soon. I believe it's in Torrance. I'm gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
Let's see what chat has to say about this Vinny Garcia thing, man. Obviously, everybody has different opinions on who their favorite team in Europe is and stuff like that, but it is a big move. Big Tom Tremblay 3271 says 3 million to Chelsea. Kid has got to be the real deal. I mean, 3 million is nothing to scoff at. And if Chelsea's coming in for him, by all means, young man, you got to go. Yeah, for sure. You definitely got to go. You got to go live that dream. Brother Lex says 3 million for a 16-year-old who hasn't played a minute of first team football. Just shows how much of a different level the Premier League is on. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have to, deal with GAM and TAM and RAM and
that's
interleague
probably
trades.
That's probably also what happens when these kids want to play for the national team, and you're going to get most of the attention, unfortunately, abroad, right? Like the just look at the national team now for the U.S. So, and this is what Tom is saying. He's got to go. We can develop enough talent for our own first team, but it's like one of those things where you don't want to stunt their development. Let's be real, guys. For these players to be world class and top talent, you've got to have the eyeballs on you, and that is in Europe, playing in the best leagues in the world, right? So. Again, an interesting conundrum that the Galaxy find themselves in, but it's a good one because that means there's talent coming through the door ready if Greg Vanny or whoever the coach is in the future gives them the pipeline and gives them the playing time to develop their skills here.
Yeah, I mean, Pap Greg Vanny let his boy go, because he knows it's going to be a different experience over there.
Yep.
Right. So
he needs the playing time. Yeah, he needs to step up the level of competition. So hopefully he gets the playing time. We'll see. We'll see how that loan deal goes through. That's a loan. That's a different situation. But
that's an interesting query, Brother Lex. He says it makes me wonder why Harbor isn't getting interest abroad. I don't know that he's
maybe
not.
Maybe he is. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to at the very least being scouted, right? And if he's not, then people are fools because he's a good little player. And above and beyond all that, me and Anon have talked about, like, he gets it. He has a big heart. Like he gets what it is to be, playing for the team and sacrifice and stuff like that. So, yeah. And those are intangibles that you really can't measure in the stat line. But yeah, let's
speaking of that though, stuff that you can't measure, intangible things that you can't measure in the stat line.
Yes. Where are you going with that?
Oh, I think it's very apropos to the next thing we're going to talk about. The next person, guy, lad, hombre that we're going to talk about.
I was going to say lad no es, pero, while everybody was kind of freaking out about Chucky, Will Kuntz was sitting back in the cut somewhere, saying excellent and laughing because he knew he was about to sign Sergi Roberto, who is basically a serial winner. The Galaxy brought in the free agent on a 2-year deal with an option for a third. I mean, this guy has a serious pedigree and a serious CV, right? I mean, he's won several La Ligas and 2 Champions League. Somebody online was like several Champions League. I was like, you just got to check the stat line. I mean, he won 2. He was the captain of a Barcelona team that was chock full of stars, man, and in a team full of stars that they were like, here, Sergio Roberto, go ahead, take this armband. Obviously, he didn't end his career there, even though he started with La Masia and he was there with Barcelona for like 14 years, something ridiculous like that. Probably longer than I'm probably misstating that, but he ended his career in Como, where Cesc Fabregas started his revolution there in Serie A and kind of bringing Como back from irrelevancy in the dead. And last year he was part of the team that beat Milan and Juventus to a 4th place finish. The concern obviously is his age, 34 years old. Father Time is unbeaten. No one can get around it. Not even, Maradona, Pelé. But like I said in my minuto, man, like if he can stay on the field as just purely a defensive midfielder, he's a massive help. You know, I asked G's if they thought it was an upgrade on El Cirio, and everybody answered in the positive. He's going to help massively with organizing that defense, and Greg today talked about how he's basically a coach on the field, and he organizes really well on the field. But not only that, he's gonna advance ball progression really, really well. He's a great passer. He has really good vision. But more than that, he plays with a sense of calm that is truly remarkable. And then if you want to go ahead and play Justin Hack there, you can go ahead and use him as a right back. You can go ahead and use him elsewhere because he's basically a utility knife, right? You can use him in a bunch of different places. Obviously, this move also reunites him with Ricky, who we played with before. Said Will Kuntz. Sergi brings a combination of leadership, technical quality, tactical intelligence, and championship experience that few players have. He's been a key member of some of the greatest teams of his generation and understands not only what it takes to win, but what it means to be in a winning team. Sergi's character, positional versatility, and leadership will be invaluable, and we are excited to welcome him and his family to the LA Galaxy. Ananda, this is one of those signings that are who I call the first lady of soccer, our colleague Sophie Nicolau. She asked Greg, what does this signing mean to you? And could this be like one of your top 3 favorite players? This is a player tailor made for a Greg Vanny system, and he kind of just laughed and he's like, yeah, I would have to say so. You're probably not wrong there. So yeah, man. I mean, Greg is pleased as punch to be getting this player. They had been after him for a little while, just like with Chucky, who they had been after for about 3 years, man. But this is a good signing. I mean, in terms of having those locker room guys that have that leadership, that have that experience, that have won, that knows what it takes to win, just like Will Kuntz said in the quote. This guy has it. This guy has it all. Ananda, what you got to say on this new signing for the Galaxy?
Yeah, you guys know me and stats, and I like to look at things pretty objectively. So I'm just going to give you a quick player profile on him. You probably have seen this maybe on other pods and stuff, but of course we haven't talked about this signing. So just a really quick overview of who we're getting. Of course, Rob talked about his accolades in terms of trophies.
Look at all those little bubbles, man. Look where he can where he could play, man.
Remember also that he was a captain. I don't know if you mentioned that. He is. So we're signing another captain, right? Another leader, and that's in this midfield. That's huge. And I'll talk about maybe a little bit of the comparisons or the proxies, like of who I think we're replacing on this team. You look at the stats there on the bottom left, there's nothing that jumps out, right? He's not going to impress you on the stat sheet. And this is like the segue that we were talking about earlier. Nothing jumps out at you, but what you are going to get is a guy that's basically the metronome of the team. A lot of the passing, very similar to how, sort of the center of the universe was around Ricky, and he was a really, really high volume touch player. That's Sergi Roberto. Like, he's a guy that's going to keep things ticking. He's going to move the ball quickly from side to side. He's going to find the seams. He's going to be in the right places, and he'll put in a tackle for you. Once if we lose the ball in a dangerous area, and he'll be in the right position. But again, this is all about making sure that what Greg wants to do on the field, everything is knitted together around this guy. Rob talked about the positional versatility. He is a Swiss Army knife, and I feel like he is going to be played. Greg used the term joker a lot with Miki Yamane, and that he would move him around in different positions. I see the same in Sergi Roberto. I can see him playing in those center mid positions, Papa, whether it's a DM or a 6/8. I can see him being used as a joker at right back and having him tuck in and invert to create a double pivot with a guy like Justin Hack or Lucas Sanabria. A lot of positional versatility here for Greg to create those offensive overloads like he wants. So that's good. All that's really positive, right? We're getting a really, really high quality, talented player. However, like you said, the concern there is the minutes. He hasn't played more than 1,000 minutes in the last 3 seasons. In fact, the last time he's played that was in 22-23 when he was with Barcelona. That was a few years ago. And then just to hit on that point even more, you look at the injury history, Papa. He's missed 35 games over the last 2 seasons combined. So I think it's a high risk, high reward move in the sense that if you get a healthy Sergi Roberto, and again, that's going to be up for Greg and the coaching staff and the doctors and the medical staff to evaluate and make sure that he is not overused. Like maybe we've been overusing Marco Reus for this past season and a half. If he plays in the capacity of like Marco Reus in 2024, where he's giving you, 60-30, 60 here, 30 there, and he is not overutilized, I think you're going to get a really good player. Last thing I'm going to say on this, I think he is the replacement for a guy like Gaston Brugman. Gaston Brugman, you look at Greg Vanny's team, successful Greg Vanny teams have always had a really, really strong DM. Michael Bradley, Gaston Brugman, even Edwin Cerrillo in his 2024 season in his form. And now you've got a guy like Sergio Roberto. And I think you'll see a very improved midfield now with him on the team.
Can you bring that graphic back for Senor
the injury
Sergi?
one?
No, the
other one.
Stat one. The stat one. Look, man, there's synchronicity here, though, man. If ever there was a link, look at where this man was born.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, that is not pronounced Royce. He is from Reus.
Yeah, no. I get it, but yeah, no, that's there's a link there, and I'm about it, and they're going to be sharing a midfield together. So, I think that speaks highly right there of what's about to happen. But guys, my minuto the other day was about like, is this a bigger signing for the Galaxy? Is this a more important signing for the Galaxy than the DP signing of Chucky Lozano, who they announced a couple of days before that? Yeah. I think it's evident that it is. I think this guy is going to be the metronome, the one that everything runs through, and the one that the kind of like the fulcrum. Big brother Lex says we're not making a big enough deal about this Sergi signing. It's huge, undoubtedly bigger than Chucky. I agree, man. This is a player that, again, that Greg kind of laughed about, and was, this, for the guy to say that this could be like one of the top 3 Greg players of all time, man. I mean, jeez. Sergi is brother Joseph Cool says Sergi is our most important transfer, and Greg basically said as much today. Yeah, he did. We need him to strengthen our midfield. Yes. And even when he's not on the field, like the things he's seeing, the things he's going to be able to teach his midfield partners, his teammates in training, Winder learning from him, invaluable. Who Justin Hack is a young guy as well, learning from him, invaluable. Tom Tremblay said Sergi only played 614 minutes in 21 games last year. That's barely 30 minutes a game. Are we sure about this, everyone? Yeah, I mean, Tom, like we said, if he can stay healthy, that's the caveat. If he can stay healthy, it's going to be gangbusters. But the homie Ananda said that it was kind of high risk, high reward. I don't really know what we're paying Sergi, but if it's, depending on what he's getting paid, I mean, I don't know if it's high risk. I mean, I know it's high reward, but obviously if you're paying him like $1 million a year, that's, you can't be paying him no Lil Wayne money.
That's my assumption. So I could be wrong about that. Right? But we'd have to. I think the biggest thing is Greg can't overuse him. I think you've got to put stability on this team. You can't overly rely on a 34-year-old. I think a hack Sergio Roberto double pivot would work really well. Actually, I think there's games where you throw that in. I think there's games where you do go a little bit more offensive and have Sergi with Sanabria as a marauding 8. I think there's games where you throw Hack and Sanabria in the midfield and put Sergi in right back. These are the headaches that we want for Greg Vanny. And now it's up to the coach to figure it out and make these players work together.
Well, before we move on to El Chucky, we do have, well, I guess this is a nice segue to move on to everything about Irving Chucky Lozano, the Galaxy's newest DP player, with a super chat from our good friend Adam. Thank you so much for this $5 super chat here. from the homie Adam. He says, "Is it a high possibility of Galaxy buying Lozano? Hopefully not." Um, Damn, ¿cómo te diré, Adam? ¿Cómo te diré? I think it's entirely upon, and I think they've Greg has said this, and I think Will said this. I think it's entirely upon Chucky himself. If he comes to play, man, and he works hard, and he's a good teammate, and he doesn't cause no static in the locker room, you know, actions speak louder than words, right? And so if he comes and he performs and he scores and he assists and his teammates love him and everything's working out, why would you change a good thing? You know, like he will have quote unquote proven, you know, that it wasn't me. You know, like I was trying my hardest or whatever, or it was like a momentary flare up and it wasn't as bad as everybody was making it out to be.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of road to travel before that. And he himself has to prove it, right? He has to be the one to convince Galaxy Brass and Will Kuntz to be like, hey man, I just made it impossible for you to not sign me. You'd be a fool not to sign me because I put up X and X amount of numbers, right? And you know, the optics at that point be damned, because you know, like at the end of the day, Galaxy fans just want to win. But you know, if it has come to that point where he has scored a bunch and assisted a bunch, and the chemistry is great, and he's having a great time with his teammates and stuff like that, at that point, I don't really think there would be that static with the Galaxy fans, and I think it would be, you know, a fair reward for a player that's performed. But again, that's all supposing that everything is absolutely like just like a honeymoon period should be. Just I think he used the phrase "roses and goals" the other day, and hopefully that's the way it's going to be. But Ananda, what do you got to say about this one?
About Sergi, sorry, my computer crashed for a little bit. Yeah, no, like it, or for Chucky, right? About the super chat. Man, you know what? I can see him like killing it and the Galaxy buying him. Honestly, if Will Kuntz in the front office wanted him for this many years, and he kills it, and you know he helps the Galaxy make a deep playoff run, I could totally see them buying this, because usually unless, because the thing is, they would have to wait for the next transfer window, in my opinion, to get better talent, because the winter is always hard to sign people, sign players. Will Kuntz has said it multiple times on the show. So once the calendar flip happens, that's probably the time you want to do it. But then you don't want to go 6 months without without 3 DPs. So yeah, I could see it going either way. It probably has a lower probability of him coming back, but I could see it happening, Papa. Like we say with this team, you don't think it's going to happen, but then with this team, it does happen. So,
well, something that I'm glad happened is us seeing our brother XPH back up in chat. Welcome back, senor.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
¿Qué onda, cuneros? Hey, Rob. Hey, Nanda. Been a while. Here to all support the show. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the listeners. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, do that shit. Best way to show love for all the work Rob and Nanda put in. You know, XPH is a wise man, and if he's telling you to like and subscribe to the show, it's probably a good idea for you to do that. You know, I'm just gonna say he said, you know, just go ahead and say, and do it. You know, just we'll give you a quick take. Okay, now we're back with you. So anyway, by now. Well, no, by now, you know, that was a quick little, hey, you can go ahead and like and subscribe.
You know what? Scott sent us sunshine. I like that, Scott. 200. Thank you so much, man.
My life in the sunshine.
I thought you were going to go, I've got sunshine. Anyways.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
That's a good one.
Hey, has anybody made that a drinking game? Anyway, let's stay on task here, Ananda. We were talking Chucky, and the Galaxy finally presented him to local media, and you have it's fun here because you have a friend of the show here, Katja Castorena from ESPN, here at this press conference, and we learned a lot. Ananda, I mean, this is a man who is saying all the right things. I mean, you obviously would expect that, but one thing is expecting one thing, and one thing is hearing it and seeing it. And this is a guy that sounded contrite. He said he's thankful for the Galaxy for saving him and helping him play again, and that he missed football, and that's why he's thankful for the Galaxy for helping him play again. And but despite all that, man, I mean, he didn't blast San Diego. He actually said, when he was asked about it and given the opportunity to, that everything is a process, and he's thankful to San Diego, and the reason that he decided to stay, excuse me, was that he didn't want to uproot his family.
Makes sense. Yep.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. There is the there was reports, and we spoke to our friends there in San Diego media, that he did get offers from Mexican teams, and he did get an offer from Tijuana as well, so he could have very easily gone to Tijuana. So I mean, but that's one of those things that it's kind of like that's kind of like one of those things where when Van Persie went to United, like he said the kid in him had always wanted to go to United.
Hey, but let's be real. Come on, Pacific Beach, Manhattan Beach. Come on. I don't think you want to move from those places. I think I would want my family there too.
Yeah, for sure. But he also spoke about his desire or his kind of openness to being called back up to El Tri, playing for the Mexican national team again, and he gave his account of their time in the World Cup. He even spoke a little bit about Leo Messi and what it was like to and engage with him in the past, and most importantly for Galaxy fans, he says he's good for the weekend. So he's ready to go. He said that he's ready to go, and whatever the coach decides, he's going to abide by. And so, yeah, I mean, again, like the overarching thing that I take away from this press conference is from the Chucky side of it anyway, when he was presented, is that he's ready to work, and he's ready to try to prove some people wrong. Seems motivated, seems contrite, but also again, there's two sides to every story, and we still don't know what happened. And yeah, I mean, but
yep, I just hope
at this point we just got to let him prove himself.
Yeah, I think we just got to move on as Galaxy fans and judge him by the 90 minutes. So
yeah, well, that was kind of the bits and bobs with Chucky, and he was out there talking to press for a good long while, probably 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah, shout out Chucky. Chucky, bienvenido acá a la Cuna Galaxiana. Sabemos que como nuevo jugador del Galaxy vas a querer naturalmente venir acá y conversar con nosotros como el podcast bilingüe de los aficionados del Galaxy. So Chucky, this is a very warm invitation for you to what will, of course, soon become your favorite podcast. So, Chucky, aquí lo esperamos. But anyway, Will Kuntz also broke some news. I asked him about Miki Yamane. We had been talking about how Miki Yamane was being tapped up by Urawa Diamonds, that were looking to acquire him. He is looking to go back home to Japan for a kind of like a swan song there in the twilight of his career. The 32-year-old has an expiring contract, so people had been kind of wondering what was going to happen, and it looks like he is now going to Japan. And honestly, like I'm surprised that we haven't gotten an announcement already, because this was something that Will told us about on Tuesday, and when he told us about Edwin, I mean, the next day, Club America was announcing him. Like he was announced, I think the next day, or like at night the next day or something like that. So, yeah, I'm expecting this one to go through very soon. Of course, the Galaxy picked Miki up in 2024 for about 1.7 mil, and he was a champion in that 2024 season. So, God, like do you remember in that in MLS Cup, where Miki like came from the defense, like running up from the defense, and he hit like a thunder strike that would have been a golazo, but it hit the crossbar, or like hit the woodwork or something like that. I just know I just know it hit the post, and I was like, oh man, can you imagine if that had gotten in? Anyway, if he does end up leaving, and it looks like he will be, once a G, all's a G, and again, 2024 champion. Chat, if Miki goes, that leaves the Galaxy with Harbor Miller as pretty much the only recognized right back. Do they need to pick one up before the end of the window? Do you bring somebody up from VCFC and let them develop and let Harbor be the starter? Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you think the Galaxy need before the window closes. Of course, I asked Will Coons about that U22 position as well. He said if the U22 comes in, it'll probably be a player that is he said they're looking to add one, but he did say, cautiously, that if he comes in, they're looking at a player that could grow and develop, that it probably won't be a player that will be expected to kind of shoulder the load immediately. So that U22, it could still come in. I just don't expect them to be, transformational out of the gate. Probably more of a player that they'll develop. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think. If Yamane goes, do the Galaxy need them right back, or should they focus elsewhere? And I think a good way to kind of gauge that, Ananda, is by pulling up the depth chart.
Yeah, let me pull it up right here. So again, for everyone that's on video, you can see it right there. Audio listeners, come over to YouTube so you can check out my janky graphic here that I put together. But yeah, I mean, Rob said it right. You look at that. I'm going to focus on that right back right now. We've got Harbor Miller. Again, I don't see any ready-made replacement yet, or someone coming through the ranks from VCFC.
Don't forget Brother Garcia's.
Well, Brother Garcia's right now I have slotted as a center back, because he is a center back, right? That's what he's been playing for this team, and that's what he is slotted in for. Again, I don't like the square pegs and round holes thing. Now, the interesting
but then you could also go Rindov back there, and then slide over Garcia in a pinch. I'm saying
again in a pinch, but that's not the ideal. Like we want to create stability, not create chaos and instability. I'm just going to leave that comment where it is. But the interesting thing here is Sergi Roberto, right? Because again, I think this is why Greg and Will really like this player. It's his positional versatility. I mean, we've seen him play for Barcelona at right back and sort of tuck in. We've seen Greg do that with Miki. So I'm gonna base it off of history and say that Greg probably has plans for him to do that. Like right now, I have Sergi Roberto not as a starter. Again, this is all debatable. I'm just putting stuff on paper at the moment because we haven't seen it. But I have him as a utility guy to back up Justin Hack at number 6, which it looks like that's going to be his position moving forward. But of course, as I put there, Hack can also cover for one of the center backs there as well. Of course, Rob just talked about Chris Rindov. So, and I think this to me, again, if you're trying to save Sergio Roberto, he's got 2 years with this team. If you're trying to save his legs, trying to keep him injury proof as much as possible, you've got to limit his minutes. So for me, I think you take a flyer on a U22, either right back, right wing, a guy that can play forward like a Harbor, basically like a Harbor, right? And you have those two guys battle it out. And then you have Sergio Roberto, again, as a utility guy, depending on the opposition that you're facing, the game plan, et cetera, et cetera. So, but then I also look at that right wing position, Papa. Like Ruben Ramos right now is the backup right wing. Do you want more experience cover there, right? Or do you now believe, and this is where, again, I talk about pathways a second ago, these are why these themes are coming up, because If you want to give a pathway for a guy like Ruben Ramos, you've got to give him minutes. Then you've got to say, and then you've got to signal to him too in the transfer market to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to sign anyone for that position. It's all you, brother. You got to fight it out, and you've got to do as best as you can to displace JP, especially if he has a bad game. So this is more coaching.
Can you bring that back?
This is man management stuff, right? This is stuff that we've got to look through.
Yeah, man. But I feel what you're saying on the starting lineup and the Sergi Roberto versatility. But let's imagine a world where he starts and he plays a full 90, because I believe that he is going to start quite frequently, actually. You know, I know you're saying that they got to manage his minutes, but we also said that about Marco Reus, and he plays a lot. So you know, there will be games where Roberto starts and he probably goes to full 90, and in that world we're probably playing you know, a double pivot. So Royce plays the 10, and you're playing a center back pairing of Glesnes and Hack. But honestly, the reason I bring all that up is because it really benefits the person it really benefits. It's Luquita Sanabria
100%.
playing next to a player like Sergi Roberto. This man is not only going to learn from him, but he's going to learn how to be more mobile and support Royce in the attack and develop that side of his game too, because we've seen him score goals, and we've seen him pop up with the goal or two in Uruguay as well. So if he can develop that, and if he can kind of build that connection with Royce and Sergio Roberto there in midfield, going to be a good little midfield supporting Marco Reus. But guys, let's hear from you on what you think the Galaxy need before we go to this Houston preview. It looks like our friend Ananda left again or got kicked out again.
Yeah, I don't know. My computer again. I've gotta look into that. Anyways, I think my computer said, you know, enough Sergio Roberto talk. Like I'm over it.
well, I was just telling chat we were going to go ahead and bring up some of their comments on what they felt like the Galaxy needed before we go ahead and start talking about this Houston preview. So let's go ahead and see what chat has to say about who we need to bring in, or what the Galaxy might need. Let's go ahead and figure out here. Joe 13 Cool says a U22 winger and bring in a veteran backup right back. Brother Lex says I'd rather have a 40-year-old Sergio Ramos over Yoshida and Garcia at this point. You know, I'm not so sold on the Sergio Ramos thing either. And Brother Lex follows up with, I was hoping for a U22 number 10. What if Royce goes down for a few weeks? Would be so effed? Yeah, for sure, man. That can for sure be true. Again, I just said it. We're overusing him. Just Anthony says, let's go for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Hey, in a world where Will Kuntz can go ahead and get him, I love that. I love that shout. Comet says should go for a U22 winger. Just Anthony backs him up on that. Says we need a U22 winger. And I think that's what we got for that at the moment. So let's go ahead and say thank you to everyone that kind of put in their 2 cents and became Will Kuntz for a moment. And let's go ahead and get to this preview here for the LA Galaxy versus Houston, right, Ananda?
Yes, sir. Hit it.
Oh man, I'm glad you're back with us, back in the land of Galaxylandia. Well, guys, the Galaxy are back after 2 weeks of not being here with you and not giving you something to be upset about, or just make you very, very happy and make the weekend grand. They are back, but they're not at home. They're away at Houston Dynamo, a place that, like I said at the beginning of the show, has not been kind to them. The Galaxy hold a 14, 15, and 14 all-time regular season record against the Dynamo in 43 meetings, including a 7, 10, and 5 record at Show Energy Stadium. The last matchups between these two teams have the teams playing to 3 straight 1-1 draws, and then prior to that stretch, the each home side claimed a 2-1 win in the 2024 season. Of course, in last year's matches, in the first one, Luquita Sanabria, who I was speaking about earlier, found a goal, a stoppage time equalizer in the away match in September. And then Dieguito Fagundes, shout out Dieguito, he got the second half equalizer in the Galaxy's draw in April, even though they were shorthanded in that match. They just recently played to another 1-1 draw in match week 15 of the 2026 season, and JP gave the Galaxy a lead in the 20th minute before Houston got one back through, I believe it was Guillem. And you know, that's the way it ended. Man, the Galaxy has only won 4 of 15 on these away trips to Houston across the last 32 all-time games.
Tough place to play.
Yeah, man, it's a very tough place to play, and
always in the middle of summer too.
Oh God, and you know how I love that heat. But let's look at where the Galaxy are going into this match. I mean, again, this one is a tough one for them because I'll tell you about it here in a moment. The Galaxy are in 12th place after 19 matches on 22 points, 1.16 points per game, 5-7-7 record, 24 goals for, 29 goals against, a -5 goal differential. They are winless in their last 5. Despite all this, incredibly, they're only 2 points out of that ninth place playoff position, Ananda. I mean, and they're only 7 points back of a home playoff, right? And so this is a team that can go on a little run here and sneak into the playoffs. But of course, the Galaxy's last match was a 0-0 home draw where Kyogo made his debut. After 18 matches, Houston Dynamo are in 4th place on 32 points, 1.78 points per game, 10-6-2 record, 27 goals for, 24 goals against, a +3 goal differential. They are unbeaten in their last 6 MLS matches. They've only lost once in their last 10. They've scored 9 goals and conceded just 2 in their last 5 matches. This is a team that's been humming along, man. They have a really good little team right there, and they've kind of figured out how to play with each other. And they've got good chemistry, and they're led by their 2 wingers, Guillem and Bogusz. So, Ananda, what can you tell us about this form guide?
Well, yeah, like you just said, I mean, Houston, they've got 3 wins. Well, they haven't lost since RSL like 7 match weeks ago, as you can see on the form guide. So, yeah, man, this is going to be tough. Again, Houston's on a 3-game winning streak. They're coming back home. You've talked about the stats. I probably have some stats too from Opta later as well. So yeah, this will be a tough game, but it's interesting, right? Like I wonder if all these new signings and everything, I wonder if this gives the Galaxy locker room like hope, like, hey, reinforcements are coming in. We've got help. We've got all these new players to bet in. So we'll see.
I was thinking about this today. If there is a new coach bump, then there's got to be a new player bump as well, right? I mean, hey, we got some new blood, like that energy is infectious, Of course, there's going to be a loss in that chemistry or connections and that Greg always talks about. But I think there's got to be kind of like this feeling, like you said, of hey, they're getting us help because things weren't going the way we wanted them to go. But heading into this Houston match, the Galaxy do have a couple of players unavailable or still on their way. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Shout out to the Podfather, the Pod Padrino Pato, for going in above and beyond and providing these quotes. So we'll go ahead and get those here in a second. On Irving Lozano, on Chucky, we'll gauge his minutes as based on the amount of work he's been able to do since he's gotten here. Obviously, he's been isolated training for a while, months. So it's been integrating him into the team, getting his sort of football fitness, durability, those kinds of things. So definitely be with us and he'll be part of it this weekend. So basically, the Galaxy are doing a Kawhi on Chucky, right? For all you Clippers fans, hey, I'm throwing you one, man. Kawhi. Anyway, but yeah, they're managing the minutes as he gets up to speed, as he starts to get integrated into the team and kind of like learn the system and more importantly, like Greg said, he's been training by himself, so naturally he's not going to be up to game speed. He also let us know on Klauss he's hoping for the week of the San Diego game for him to be back. He says he's very good. A couple of weeks, I think, probably be training in the next week or so. We're looking targeting probably the last week of like San Diego week for him to be ready to go game wise. So he's on the final stretches now. So look for Klauss to be back. The update on Sergi Roberto is that he's hoping that his visa gets handled tomorrow, or his appointment rather. He has his appointment for the visa tomorrow, and so that means that he should be here at some point early next week. And again, this is one of those things that and you know what, earlier I said I'm going to push back on Ananda for saying it's high risk, high reward. I guess it is high risk, high reward because we did say if he can stay on the field, but if he can stay on the field again, Greg told us that this is one of the top 3 players that Greg will have signed or has the opportunity to coach, and that's massive, man. And thinking about all the players that he's played under, and he said that he spoke to Coach Fabregas about this player, and he said that basically the intangibles, just like we talked about, like the things that no one really points out or sticks out on the stat sheet, that's kind of those were kind of the things that Cesc Fabregas pointed out about Sergio Roberto, and Greg said that those were exactly the things that he needed from a player. So I think Greg is pleased as punch about this. Eric Tommy is still on the mend, so he will still be out for this one. And again, Miki is on his way out, so don't expect to see him as well. We have we had Kyogo from this presser. He spoke to us, and he spoke to us at length. Actually, he said, first and foremost, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that I got my first game under my belt. It's been a very good experience so far. Ananda, I don't know. I know you had well, did you have a soundbite, or were the quotes from the soundbite?
Nope. Yeah, the quotes. I don't have a soundbite, and especially right now, my computer is like going haywire. So yeah, I think you have the quotes from. By the way, shout out Alex Ruiz because he wrote a great article about the things that we learned on the presser. So check that out on the Galactic Tribune. Shout out, Alex.
Shout out to El Profe Alex La Puente. What's up, La Puente in the house? And yes, brother Lex, I agree. Clipper fans, what are those? But I do know we have a couple of friends of the show that are Clipper fans, so we're not going to hold them against them. We still love them. We at some point we'll probably help them see the light and steer them towards the purple and gold. But anyway, until that day, we'll still love them. Guys, it looks like our friend Ananda left us again. He was not wrong. It looks like he's still having those computer difficulties. But anyway, yeah, Kyogo spoke to us at length. He said, I know my time here has been short so far, but the Galaxy's offensive style is holding the ball and at times hitting them with the counter. I'm especially proficient in both those areas. Through practice, I want to incorporate myself and use my strengths, as I believe my talents really blend well with what the Galaxy's game plans are. He said he wants to win trophies here. He said, I love this one. I want to be, obviously, first and foremost, be remembered as a great player, but I also want to be a player that kids look up to and kids watch my game and say, hey, I want to play soccer. I want to be like him. That is awesome. Kyogo, man of the people, man of the kids. I love the fact that he. Uh, I don't remember the lad's name, Ananda, but we had a gent from Scotland sitting on the presser, and this cat spoke to Kyogo probably for like 15 minutes about his time at Celtic, and so he's working on some stuff there. So I'll leave it at that. But look out for an inside look at to kind of what Kyogo experienced at Celtic, and yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see him as well. I mean, obviously Chucky was the big signing, but I think Sergi is the more foundational signing for the Galaxy, and then I'm honestly more excited to see Kyogo again. I loved seeing his cameo.
I need to see 90. I need to see 90. I think chat saying the same thing. He's, like I said, his intelligence, he has a footballing brain. He gets in the right positions. We've got to find him. We've got to put him in the right positions too, though. And I hope, especially with the midfield acquisitions, I think that's going to help quite a bit. It's going to be a real interesting game, man. I'm actually like, I haven't been really excited to see the Galaxy play this year through various reasons, but I'm hopeful, like maybe, and that's hope that kills you, but I'm actually looking forward to see how this thing goes together. Like, if all the pieces fit in the right way and the chemistry is there, this team can be good. Like, this team can and should be good on paper. We'll see how the chemistry is. That's always the wild card, is how quickly can this team gel together. And like, is it like they look like complete strangers, or do they look like they click with each other right away? It'll be interesting to see.
Well, not only that, but can they click with each other and then implement what Greg wants to see? I mean, people understand things at different speeds, right? And so it'll really be on players like Marco Royce, or players that have been playing in the system for a little bit, like Yoshida, to go ahead and get everyone up to speed and show their leadership qualities there. But looking at this match here, Houston's going into this one pretty much fully stocked. I mean, they are missing Antonio Carlos in the back line, center back, 13 matches, 11 starts. He actually last saw action against the Galaxy in their last match. And then Jimmy Maurer, the goalkeeper, has only played one match this season. And the Galaxy are, of course, missing Eric Tommy, Jacques Klauss, Miki Yamane, and Ricky Puig, like we did tell you about. And that brings us to our starting lineup. Ananda, I threw you mine. What would you do?
Same as you, because great minds think alike.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think just because of where the Galaxy are in terms of the player acquisitions and things like that, I think we've got to wait till everyone comes in. So Sergi comes in after his green card. Chucky plays, like he has a string of games where he can now start. But I think the lineup sort of kind of picks itself just based off of that. I think the lineup conversation will get interesting maybe 4 or 5 games in when the Galaxy are in that 10-game stretch that Greg always talks about in an MLS season. But I think for right now, again, I'm going to just read it out for the audio listeners. JT Marcinkowski in goal, back 4 of John Nelson, Maya Yoshida, Jakub Glesnes, and Harbor on the right back position. Midfield trio of Justin Hack and number 6, Lucas Sanabria and Marco Royce. And then a front 3 of Robert Taylor, Furuhashi, who hopefully will get his, Kyogo will get his first start, and JP on the right. And I think Chucky will probably come off the bench to hopefully score a winner. But yeah, look, I think the lineup picks itself for this particular game. Now, as the games move on, I think things will get interesting. I think we'll have a lot more fun starting 11 conversations.
Mine looks more like a 4-2-3-1 though than yours.
I mean, it's fluid. It's fluid, right? I mean, Greg's attacking. I'm sure he wants to Lucas can just run up and down. Marco can drop deep. I mean, it's fluid. 4-1-4-1, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. However you want to slice it and dice it, it's going to be so fluid. 4-4-2 as always.
True.
In a defensive,
always
in a defensive block. 2 banks of 4. That's going to be the same. Marco Royce and Kyogo are probably going to be Kyogo's probably going to be the press trigger. That's one of the other things too that like tactically now. I know we don't have time to talk about a lot of things, but like I'm just hoping that we have more of a counter pressing game. We have more of a pressing game because I haven't seen that at all in the last year and a half. Like very, very little pressing. And the best, what is it like? The Red Bull style, right? It's like you win the ball high up the pitch, forget about ball progression. You don't need to worry about that. Like you're already in the final third. There was a couple. What was that goal? I remember there was a goal recently that the Galaxy scored. I think it was Sanabria pinching it off of someone. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was before the break, but we've got to score goals in that way too. Like, especially as the midfield is starting to gel together, we've got to find, I want to see more of that counter press with guys like Chucky, because whatever you want to say about Chucky, I've seen highlights where he nicks a ball off of a guy. Kyogo as well, willing presser. Klauss when he comes back, you've got the tools there. JP always work rates 100%. Like, it's one thing that you can't knock on JP. Like, he might finish some sitters, but the work rate's always there. He always gives 110%, right? So it'll be interesting to see.
We do have a super chat from the homie Adam. $2 super chat. Muchas gracias, papa. We do appreciate it. We already talked about this one, Adam. Yamane is I mean, he's listed as injured, but
yeah, he's probably like an Edwin Cedillo thing, right? He's gonna be sat for precautionary reasons, probably not even with the team. So
well, they told us that Edwin had kind of like turned his ankle, and so they were sitting him because of that, and because they were talking about the deal.
Played. He could have played. Let's keep it about
probably, and Miki probably has like a small knock or something like that. But yes, he probably can play. But yeah, it's more motivated by him not getting injured, and then him being able to be sold. But guys, I mean, it's no secret who the danger men for Houston are. We saw it in the last match. I mean, DM is a good player, right? Augusto's a good player, man. He has 11 goals and 5 assists. It's that's who the stars are. That's who the show is running to. But the guy who's kind of running the show or running the strings and getting him the ball is Jack McGlynn. The cam midfielder has 2 goals and 5 assists. And then you have former LAFC player Matty Bogusz, right? Mateus Bogusz, right winger, 4 goals and 1 assist. And then you have your old friend Hector Herrera, Ache, 2 goals. He's been there with
Chucky.
No, for sure. I mean, he's gonna have a nice moment probably. But the one that is kind of fun here, Ananda, is Lawrence Anali. The attacking left back has 3 goals and 2 assists so far this year. So this is a team that can get goals and get production from different places. You know who the danger men are. Galaxy, you gotta shut these down. You gotta shut these men down. And speaking of that, Ananda, I'm gonna ask you the age-old question for the Galaxy to win. But before I do that, chat, start dropping your game predictions for Houston versus the Galaxy. Of course, the Galaxy are on the road here in this match in the sweltering Texas heat in Houston, where they haven't won for quite a while. It should be interesting to see if they can get kind of that bump, that relief from all these new players that have come in. But while you guys are dropping your game predictions and letting us know who you think is going to win that match, the Galaxy versus Houston, I'm going to ask my co-host Ananda, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ...
Oh, I'm actually going to give you a one word for this, and I'll explain myself. But they need to believe, Papa. I think again. I want to go back.
Oh, you went Teddy Lasso on him?
Season 4. All that. It's top of mind at the moment.
Dang.
That Mumford
give us that sponsorship, Teddy Lasso
is top of mind. But no, like, this is what I was saying earlier, and I think this is a point that gets maybe lost or understated. I think the psyche and the mentality and the vibes around the locker room, I think with all these players coming in, reinforcements are coming in. This has got to give the players a boost mentally in that locker room. And so now that you have these reinforcements coming in, and now that the team is looking like it's starting to come together on paper, now they just need to sort of ride the wave, like ride that high, and like start to believe in what they're doing as a team, as an 11, as a 25, whatever that squad is. And I think they just need to believe that, hey, like we're a good team now. Like we're a good team on paper. And I think that's where it starts. And I think that's maybe something that gets lost, like I said, because we were talking about like positional fits and tactics and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, like I feel like the locker room over the past year and a half has not been good. It's been there's been a lot of moments of instability that's railed this team. And I think now is the time where you're getting all these players back, you're getting reinforcements. I think this team needs to start believing in themselves, because they are a few game winning streak away, Papa, like you said, in the table. You put a couple games together, you're back in the mix, right? But it has to start now. And I think to start that trend, they have to believe in themselves, they have to believe in each other. And then at the end of the day, they will believe in the tactics and what they're doing on the pitch. Yes, there will be bumps along the way. The chemistry might not click, but you've got the horses now. You've got to go. Whatever you want to say about Chucky Lozano, he's a good player. Double-digit goals and assists in this league. Like he had a good 2025. You can't say that he did not have DP level production, right? You signed a guy from Celtic that was one of their top goal scorers in that league. Yeah. Like. But that's the thing. Like, I think the missing piece is they got to start believing in themselves. And I think that's, to me at least, where it starts. This is almost like a fresh start for this team, but they've got to make it count now. 15 games left. Got to start putting 3 points on the board.
I agree. It's the moment. 15 games left. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it now. And it's got to start now. It's got to start with that belief that they can go to places like Houston and get wins. And we saw that in the 2024 season. And not saying that this team is going to go on and win the title, but they had moments where they would go places and places that they hadn't won in a while and get a win, because they were bucking trends and making history for the right reasons, rather than 2025 when they were making it for the wrong reasons. So for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to just be killers, man. They have to, I mean, the killer bees are gone. We know that, but this team needs to go out there and mentally be killers. They need to not let up on teams. If they have an advantage, they have to, and that goes with executing and not letting teams off the hook when you're creating chances. If you're creating chances, punish teams. Punish those teams that are letting you create those chances. You might not get those chances again, right? If you're up, go ahead and finish that match. Don't let teams back into the game. Be killers. Anyway, I'll leave with that. You know, they just have to be cutthroat. Basically, they have to go into matches in such a way that they can't mess around anymore. There's only 15 games left. So win probabilities, Ananda. I know that you and Dr. Raquinho took a nice drive up the coast and visited a nice honeybee farm where you were taking on a tour. And while you guys were taking on that tour, you guys were discussing these win probabilities. After the honey harvesting, tell us what you found.
Well, we found that Houston has a 44% win probability. Of course, they are the home team. LA Galaxy, 28.5%. That's actually not that bad, Papa. Anything close to 30% is pretty good for the road team. And again, I see you guys dropping in chat your score predictions, but maybe if you want to change your mind after you see a couple of these stats, but a couple of pre-match insights per Opta. Of course, Houston Dynamo have drawn their last 3 games, last 3 times against the Galaxy. Rob we put that graphic up there in terms of the record, head-to-head record. Over the last few, Houston Dynamo have kept a clean sheet, Papa, in the last 3 matches. So, again, they are a stingy team defensively. And the Houston Dynamo have won their last 2 games at home when Guilherme has scored. So we know who we need to keep out of the back of the net.
Yeah, we already talked about it. He's the guy. He's the guy for them. He's this goal scorer. And even though McGlynn kind of pulls the strings from Cam, I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck for production on assists. So he's the guy to watch. And I know we did have some score predictions from chat, but first, before we go there, let's go ahead and say gracias de nuevo to our hermano GCam. So this cat, Johnny on the spot before we're even on, and he's hooking up a super chat, and he's still here.
He just hooked me up with my smaller chata. Thank you, GCam. Gracias,
and he's
papa.
still here an hour and 20 minutes later, showing us love. God damn, I love you, Cuneros. I love you, Cuneros, for showing us all the love in the world. GCam, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. He says, "Tu y yo." I tried to. Oh, nice. I like the way you hit that bottom note right there. Cool. I was worried we weren't going to be able to sync up because your computer's been giving you issues. But anyway, we got it. I think we got it for like a smidge. But anyway, Ananda, before you go ahead and give us your chat prediction, because I went first last time, let's go ahead and throw it to chat, who is really going to go first.
Yeah. Pottermus says 2-0 Houston. E-Super says 1-1 tie, hopefully. So that is a hopeful pick. Melvin Rocker, what's up, Melvin?
Hey,
1-1.
what up?
Another point.
Thanks for giving us an update on your mom, man. Forza. Hopefully she's doing well. Que siga así. Que siga adelante. Fuerza.
Yes, sir. Joe13 Cool says 2-1 Galaxy Kyogo. Love that. Galaxy need to give a possession, hit those fast counters. Yeah, I think this is a game for maybe 50 to 55% possession, hopefully, for the Galaxy, just like Greg says. 3-2 loss for Scott. Let's see. Philly Phils. I think that's the first time we've seen you in chat. So welcome, Philly. 2-1 Galaxy win. What else do we think?
Yeah, we have a Pablo Ramos
Pablo
for
says
6-0.
6-0 to the but wait. To the Galaxy or Houston? That's
dang. That's the optimal question right there.
Comets 1-0. The comeback begins today. Ooh, I like the optimism. 1-1, just like the dig, says Tom. GCam says 1-0 Chucky free kick. Wow.
Ooh.
Wowzers. That would be dynamite. 4-2 Galaxy. Hey, there's some Galaxy wins in here, Papa. There's some Galaxy wins in here, which is nice to see. Again, I think that's just like, again, these signings, they have to breed some sort of optimism, right? Whatever, however way you want to feel about Chucky, etc. I know Sergi's not here yet, but maybe the chat is picking up off of that. And you know what? I'm going to go with chat too, Papa. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Galaxy win, smash and grab. I'm going to go for the smash and grab. I think they're going to smash and grab it in the late stages. Maybe it's a Chucky goal. Maybe it's a kill goal, like someone said in the chat. Like I said, I think the more I think about this, and maybe this is probably because I haven't looked at my phone. I haven't looked at any chatter about this. I haven't listened to any of the doom and gloom and the rage bait and all that stuff. I think there's something to be said about the locker room in that this is a team that was maybe a little broken. Again, had various moments of instability, left, right, and center, whether it was injuries, whether it was red cards, whether it was this and that. But I think this is going to give them that moment of inspiration. Now, it may not work out that way. What I can guarantee is I think you're going to get a good Galaxy performance. It may be a performance where we're not on the ball. It might be playing on the counter. But I think you'll see just like those concentration levels ramp up. Like, how we always complain about the Galaxy switching off in certain moments. I don't think you'll see as much of that. I think now, hopefully, and this is more of a hope thing than anything, I think hopefully the Galaxy will become that defensive team where you have to score a good goal against the Galaxy and we're not shooting ourselves in the foot. I think that gene or that characteristic will build itself over time. But I don't know, man. I'm feeling good about this one. Like, it's going to be interesting. And I think the Galaxy 1-1 is probably my head pick, but I think my heart's going to say 2-1 smash and grab Galaxy.
That's optimistic. I like it. I mean, I'm envisioning a world where it's 0-0 in the 93rd minute, and Houston has a corner kick, and Jonathan Bond comes up and he scores a bicycle kick golazo to beat his former team. Nah, you
mean an own goal? You mean it goes off his back and goes in, or he banana hands it? Like,
come on, man. Be nice, Jonathan. He was always nice to us. Yeah, but you can't really argue against 67
he's the enemy now.
Goals.
Yeah, no, totally.
But honestly, like the trend is 1-1. And I don't think that's going to change. And yes, there will be improved play, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take a moment to figure it out. Who knows what the lineup is going to look like? I mean, I called for Kyogo to start, but who knows if he will. You know, I mean, who knows what Greg is going to do and put out for a lineup.
I think my prediction is also based off of the lineup that we predicted. So if we see a different lineup, that may change. But you know, and by the way, Robert Taylor is a guy that we haven't really talked about a lot. He's been really solid. He's just a solid, steady player. Good for Greg's system. And again, like if he can give reprieve for Chucky to come in and have his impact. Like, by the way, what a freaking debut that would be, coming off the bench to score either a game tying or hopefully game winning goal. And the other thing I'll say too is the Galaxy will have no chance in this game if they give up more than one goal. They've got to keep the score sheet down. Houston's, you know, they've got a lot of good attackers, right? As we saw in the stats. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I think people are going to go out to Houston, man, because you know, obviously there's a lot of Mexicanos in Texas and in Houston, so I think they're going to go out and see Chucky, man. Oh, brother Edgar Nags is all up in here. He says much tough to Lacuna. Garcia does better on the road versus Houston compared to the other Texas teams. Nevertheless, I still think this will be a loss. Oh,
fair enough.
Yeah, but it's good to see you, man. Man, we had a Clippers shout out earlier. I don't know if you were here yet, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I was thinking of you, Edgar. So shout out to you, man. Hope the fam's good. But Ananda, I think that yeah, it's gonna be a 1-1. Nothing that I've seen so far has led me to believe that that's going to change. And since we haven't seen this team yet play together, I can't go based on what they are on paper. I have to go based on what we've seen so far, right? So in that spirit, it's a 1-1. So anyway, sorry to be the other pessimist Pottermus, but that's the way it is, man.
That just gives an opportunity for the Galaxy to prove you wrong, and that's all we ask for as fans, right?
Yeah, no, I want them to prove me wrong. Let's look ahead to what they have coming up after Houston. Of course, they have another version of El Cali Clásico on 8/19 at 7:30 p.m. at the Digs. Of course, I already told you about this, guys, but on Monday we will have a special interview with former Galaxy player and current San Jose striker Preston Judd. Once a G, always a G, ahead of that Cali Clásico. Man, just a shout out to Preston and the fine folks at San Jose Comms for doing the Lord's work and you know, making him available, and shout out to Preston again for you know, coming back to the show, because again, Preston was on the show a couple of years ago when he had just moved to San Jose. So it'll be a return for friend of the show, Preston Judd. So hopefully you guys are here on Monday the 17th to go ahead and check that out. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Of course, chat, you guys are amazing. We missed you guys, so you guys are really, really active and talking amongst yourselves and all that good stuff. I know there's a lot going on in Galaxylandia, so we're happy to, you know, bring you a show today. And I mean, hopefully the G's, hopefully they get some points, right? Whether it's 1 or 3, I think a point on the road is always accepted. 3 points though would be a nice change of pace. I think that's a jolt that this team needs. Again, if you look at the table, they have more games played than a lot of those teams around them, so they need to pick up points. But guys, again, this is probably, I know we titled this show, this is kind of going full circle now, but I know we titled the show this idea of a new hope. And I think the real answer is the proof is going to be in the pudding, and we'll see in the next 3, 4, 5 matches, especially when we get the full squad with guys like Sergi and all that stuff, and we'll see what moves are going to be made.
Klauss back, you got Tommy back
at the end of the transfer window, right? I guess the Galaxy will help answer that question for fans. It's like, is this something to be hopeful for, or is this just, you know, another red herring, like another trap, right? We talk about trap games. Is this going to be the trap? But again, I'm just so intrigued of how this is all going to play out on the pitch, right? This is the thing, and I'm going to be watching really closely of how, you know, the chemistry of the team, like how they react to each other. But again, I can't help to think that this is a rejuvenated locker room, and I just hope that translates itself between the white lines.
We have another super chat from GCam. Hey man, thank you so much for a $2 super chat. GCam.
Shout out GCam.
GCam. Hopefully we see you on Wednesday at the digs, man. It's the Cali Clásico. He says, top show, gentlemen. Thank you so very much. We do appreciate it. Ananda, to kind of add to your point and kind of put a bow on it here. I think you got to have hope, right? Because Galaxy fans weren't happy. They went into that World Cup break pretty much mediocre. We had called it out. They were 5-5. They were in 9th place, and it was getting even a little bit worse coming out of it. And again, Galaxy fans weren't happy. And I think it would have been folly to let it ride out and let it play out and get worse. And so for good or for bad, because we don't know how this is going to turn out yet, they made changes or they made steps to improve the team. And I think they did. I think, if you're just doing simple plug and play, if you're starting Marco Royce as a false 9 or Kyogo, you would take Kyogo, right, as a natural striker. I think if you're talking Sergio Roberto over Edwin Sergio, I think you would take Sergio Roberto. I think if you were looking at playing Harbor Miller out of position as a left winger, and then have to kind of improvise at right wing, then or right back, then you leave Harbor there and then you play Robert Taylor there, right? And that's an upgrade. You get to play JP on his natural position. So there are kind of reasons to be hopeful here. I think the Galaxy has improved their team, and they just need to go out and prove it now, just like Chucky. Chucky said all the right things. The Galaxy did all the right things, at least in trying to make moves to improve this team. They might not be done yet, like we talked about. But now, again, both parties, Chucky and the Galaxy, need to go out and prove it. One thing is for sure, I am so looking forward to that San Diego versus Galaxy match in San Diego in a couple weeks. And I think that's it from us. Right, Ananda?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, we got to say thank you once again for being here with us tonight. It has been a gas, guys. You were on fire as usual. And we look forward to being back with you guys on Monday. Like I said, it is Preston Joe time. So, check us out on Monday. We'll be back with you, win, lose, or draw. That same night, we'll be bringing you our reaction of what went down in that Houston match, which is hopefully a Galaxy win. But whether it is a win, loss, or draw, we'll be here with you for sad 4 hours or to celebrate a Galaxy win and a good start to the final 15 matches of the season. For La Cuna Galaxiana and my co-host, Ananda Kedana, thank you guys so much for being here. I think there's only one thing left to say, right, Ananda?
Dale.
G's up! Peace!